What up, Poppin' T fam? It's your host, Poppin' T. Sitting here as usual, Poppin' T. Got the extendo clip, Big Mag on me today.
Oh, yeah.
For that award, I got some tea for you. The Ravens have re-signed wide receiver Deontay Johnson, but he won't be awarded. He won't be awarded to the Ravens until after the Super Bowl, which just basically helps out our comp picks for the 2026 drafts. He obviously won't be on the roster, probably won't even step foot in the building. But Pops, do you have any thoughts on this re-signing of Deontay Johnson?
Deontay Bum Johnson, welcome back. Let's go get you a ring, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Let's go get you a ring. Yeah.
Why not get the man a ring? The Ravens are looking good.
He deserves it.
Yeah, he deserves it. He deserves it. He might have been the fuel to push us through. Who knows?
Yeah.
But the Ravens dominated the Steelers in pure Ravens
they did.
fashion. By running the ball and playing great defense, punching you in the mouth every drive, every series. Pop, what are your initial thoughts after that 28-14 victory last Saturday?
I mean, it never really felt like a game. I know they put 14 on the board, but I mean, this team came out angry on both sides of the ball, and the Steelers felt that. Whether it was stiff arms or, I mean, I was listening to Kyle Van Noy talk, and as soon as Pittsburgh elected to receive at the beginning of the game, he was saying, like, man, we all felt the disrespect, like,
yep.
They wanted to mess with us, like, and they got it from both sides of the ball. So it was an awesome game, and it makes me really excited about this playoff run, more so than before the game against the Steelers.
Yeah, I 100% am with you, man. I'm excited for this potential run. I truly think this is the year. Being in the bank on Saturday, I got the chance to go to the game. Man, that stadium was rocking, and you could tell from before kickoff. You could tell from the during the national anthem what type of game that was about to be. The fans were ready to go, and it's just one of those feelings where when the stadium is rocking like that, there's no way you can lose. That's just what it felt like. Everybody was shocked when the Steelers decided to return the ball, starting the game off. And even as fans, we felt disrespected. We were like, okay, we got to set the tempo from the first drive. And the bank was rocking for that for sure. But I just love the way all three phases played. Sims had me nervous a couple times back there. Punt returner. Couple questionable decisions, but everybody looked locked in, man. Especially 8 in his side of the ball. Defense is going to do what they do. So I'm excited, man. I can't wait to play Buffalo next week.
Speaking of 8's offense, like, with how the Ravens are playing right now, it's like there's no way to beat the offense. Like, as long as they're committing to the run first, like, all right, you're keying on Henry every snap. Like, that's the game plan going into the game. All right, 8's going to beat you with his legs. All right, we're loading the box up with 8, like, every single play. 7, 8 guys in the box every play. We're shutting down this run. Yep. Lamar's going to beat you with his arm. How are you supposed to beat? Then you're putting more guys back. Then you're reopening up the run. Like, realistically, if the Ravens stay committed to the run, which you have 6'3" Derrick Henry standing on the sideline, like, you're going to stay committed to the run because that's why he's there. I don't know how you can slow down the offense. Yeah. Generally.
I'm going to be agreeing with you all night. I can just feel what type of episode it's going to be. That offense, like you said, man, it's pick your poison. And my favorite part about that offense from last Saturday is the fact that Zay Flowers wasn't playing. To watch Lamar get it to everyone that was out there, Tyler, Nelly, Steven Sims, Mandrews, likely, Justice Hill, he got the ball to everybody. He's obviously very comfortable with who he has in the room on the offensive side with him. He trusts every guy out there. Then that read option game, man, my God, I don't know what you're supposed to do. It's like, do you crash on Derrick Henry and you let Lamar run free, or do you crash on Lamar and let Derrick Henry run free?
Yeah.
it's truly a spectacle to watch because if you go back and watch not the first game against the Steelers, but the second game against the Steelers, the game plan was to crash on Lamar and let Derrick Henry take it. This third time around, the game plan switched, and it was crash on Derrick Henry, let Lamar keep it. And Lamar absolutely burned them the first drive, took like four runs himself.
He was like, if he had stayed at the course that he was at, I think he would have finished the game with like over 20 carries.
Yeah, it was
like if he,
it was lovely that first drive.
Yeah.
Just seeing him getting the game started, setting the tempo. And that was actually his first opening drive touchdown in the NFL playoffs. So it's great to see that offense clicking, and it was all because of Mr. 22, Mr. King Henry. Talk to me about what you saw from him on Saturday and what you expect from him going forward in the playoffs.
I mean, it's like you said, it's crazy how opened up everything is in this offense. It's the factor of it being a three-way offense, but like it's palpable. Like the holes that Henry is running through are wide open, and that's one in huge props to the offensive line, but it's just because people don't know where to go. And that's why our weapons, that's why he's able to deal it to all the different weapons, because everyone on all 11 guys on defense are running around not knowing where to go. Like they have a general idea of where the ball's going to go, but any given play it could be a run with Lamar, any given play it could be a run with Derrick, any play he could keep it in his chest and throw it to any of the guys on the field, and they're going to be open because people are uncommitted on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree.
I don't know when. I think we got to get a ring before this becomes a very real conversation of this is one of the greatest offenses of all time. Like you got a 4,000-yard passer, a 2,000-yard back, almost 1,000-yard rushing quarterback. Like this is unbelievable.
Receiver, a double-digit touchdown receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Just going off of that, Derrick Henry really did open this offense up for everybody. It truly allowed guys to get one-on-ones. You already were getting those favorable matchups because Lamar Jackson was at quarterback, and as a safety, corner, linebacker, your eyes always got to kind of peek in that backfield for Lamar. But now you put 22 back there. And he doesn't look 31. He looks healthy. He looks good. He looks energized, man. And it truly looks like this is something that he's been waiting for in his career. Just to be on a team like this where there are also other guys in his level of play. Don't get me wrong, when he was in Tennessee, he was over there with A.J. Jeffrey Simmons. But for a running back to be able to play next to a guy like Lamar Jackson, Lamar Jackson compared to a Ryan Tannehill is nowhere close.
Yeah.
You have Ronnie Stanley playing some of the best football of his life. Tyler Linderbaum, same thing. Fale and Macari also picking it up. Rosengarten being one of the best rookie right tackles in the league, completely neutralizing T.J. Watt.
T.J. Watt did not record a stat on Roger Rosengarten.
Stat, tackle, TFL, sack, none of that. Like, he completely neutralized him from the game. And when you can neutralize a Alex Highsmith, a T.J. Watt, and a Cameron Hayward, man, I don't know who's going to stop you going forward. When you have Derrick Henry playing the best football of his life, you have Lamar Jackson playing the best football of his life, and you have this offensive line playing the best football of their life, that's where football games are won in January. It's one in the trenches. It's one with the big boys. And when your quarterback and your running back are being able to play like they are because of the O-line's play, and the O-line can play like they would play because of the quarterbacks and running backs play, man, it just makes everybody's job so much easier. So Derrick Henry having a monster game doesn't surprise me. And I definitely expect that this week going into Buffalo. I expect it going into Kansas City. And I expect it if we get to the Super Bowl come February.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, it makes me wonder, like, all right, I don't know if Pittsburgh was the best defense that we were going to play on this playoff run. But I do think they were the best run defense we were going to play in this playoff run.
Yep.
And It'd be one thing if they were shutting down the run and we beat them that badly through the air. Okay. But it's the fact that we leaned into their defensive strength and broke it as badly as we did.
Yeah,
I think
that's very underrated about what the Ravens did last Saturday.
Yeah, it's like, all right, then who's gonna stop us then?
Because the Bills definitely don't have the run defense to do it.
Yeah, they don't. They don't. I mean, the Chiefs have a very good run defense as well, but I don't think they're quite what the Steelers are.
I don't think so either.
So it's like, I don't know. I don't know who can stop the offense. Play calling.
Like we go back to the AFC Championship. We think about that game. We talked about that game all season heading to that point, and we're getting back to that date again. We're getting back to the AFC Championship game. And you think about the 6 rushing attempts for running backs in that game, and you think about the fact that the Ravens ran the ball 50 times against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Derrick Henry getting 26 of those attempts. You think back even to week 1, week 2, where Harbaugh was like, yeah, we didn't bring Derrick Henry here to run the ball 20, 25 times. It looked like it was a smoke screen to me, and they were getting ready for this moment right here.
It really felt like... Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead. I was going to say, like, it did feel like they let loose a little bit something different for this playoff game. Like, it felt like the read option was more of a factor in this game. I don't know if it was something different that they were doing, or if it was like, all right, we're not going to run it as quite as much. But I haven't seen a game all season where Lamar was pulling it that often. It's like they told him before the game, like, they're going to be crashing on 22. Just take a couple extra hits. Like, we need you to be MVP.
Yeah, he definitely...
Which, great.
Definitely took off more than I've ever seen him in a game this season. Especially
on design, for sure.
Yeah, design QB runs. Yeah, I haven't seen him at a clip this high. And it's crazy to think how we were talking about him on the first drive and his rushing attempts. But to think that this is the first game of his career in the playoffs where he wasn't the leading rusher, as a Ravens back.
It's crazy.
It's crazy to me. The highest ever was Justice Hill in the 2023 divisional with 66 yards. Derrick Henry had 186 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. To me, that is the difference. That would be the formula going forward. And it's definitely why I think the Ravens can win the Super Bowl. But you can't win it without the guys out wide. The guys out wide, Rashad Bateman, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, Steven Sims, Tylan Wallace, Nelson Aguilar all stepped up in big ways without Zay. This weekend, or last weekend, and might have to do it again this weekend against Buffalo. What did you see against them versus Pittsburgh, and what are you looking to, I guess, or who are you looking to step up again if Zay Flowers is unable to go on Sunday?
I think it's like I said earlier. Like, I think if the run comes first, it's going to be so much easier for these guys to step up in the same way that they did. It's just so... There's so many open routes. There's so much room to run when everyone's in the box committed to that run game. So I think it's going to be a group effort again if Zay's not able to go. Just because Lamar's just going to be playing point guard at that point. If we're running it much more than we're passing it, then it's just going to be dink and dunk to all the guys that are getting open down the field. But if I had to key in on one, I would expect it to be the 2 tight ends just because I imagine we'll be out of a lot of heavier formations, 12 personnel, committing to that run game with a lot of play action from those 2, Likely and Andrews, up the seams, on those crossers that they love to run. Yeah. I think both those big plays from the tight end, that grown man stiff arm from Likely, and then the catch and run from Mark up the sideline, they were both crossers. Like, Monken loves to dial those up for those guys. So I would expect if there's going to be pass catchers that step up in this game, it's those 2.
Yeah, I can't agree more. it was beautiful to watch last Saturday. Everybody kind of step up in the absences. Um, we've kind of been saying it all season that this is the best group of weapons Lamar's ever had. And it was nice to kind of see that coming to fruition come the playoffs. It used to kind of seeing the Lamar Jackson skill groups kind of disappear when we get to January. And it was nice to see those guys step up. With you, like I said, I 100% would put it on the tight ends to step up this week, especially with Buffalo running so much nickel and dime personnel. Nickel, with there being a slot corner on the field, and dime meaning there's two extra corners, so a total of four corners and then two safeties. Especially against those big tight ends, it's hard to cover those guys with little guys. And even if you bring in a linebacker, you bring in Matt Milano's, whoever else they got, they're faster than those guys. So it's like they're faster than your linebackers, they're bigger than your DBs. And we have two of them. Like, it's not just Mark. We have two of them. And it's not like no offense, it's not a Mark Andrews and a Nick Boyle, where Mark is the athletic tight end.
I appreciate that you gave me the no offense. Everyone knows I'm a big Nick Boyle guy.
Yeah, that's why I had to throw it in there. But Nick was just a run blocker.
Possession.
Like he was a possession run blocker. He was closer to a Pat Ricard than he is a Mark Andrews. So to have a Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely, another young, athletic, versatile tight end who loves to block and who can also catch the ball, I personally think he has the best hands on the team. It's such a plus because he doesn't give away. He's not a tell when you bring him out in formations. You don't bring Isaiah Likely out. You can't go run and pass either way. Like, you can't identify that. Nick Boyle comes onto the field. Okay, most likely it's a run. Like, you know that. But with 89 and 80, you can do anything with those two guys just because they're so athletic and so versatile at the tight end position. I can't wait to see those two keep playing together for years on years.
Last thing I'll say about the pass catchers before we move on to this Buffalo game. It's you talked about them stepping up, but I also loved how these guys like stepped up and then like took the extra step. There were so many times throughout this game where Tylen gets that ball short of the sticks. His one catch of the game, Tylen Wallace gets his one catch of the game and fights that extra couple yards for the first down. Yeah. Likely catch that crosser, throws the angriest stiff arm I've ever seen in my life, picks up a lot of extra yards. Like, Mark Andrews taking it and
to the ref, to the hash to get the ball down, get it spiked to allow that touchdown to Justice Hill in the next play.
And so it just felt like the whole team was just like ticked up just a little bit more. And I don't think that's just a Steelers thing. I don't think that's just a rivalry thing. I don't think that's just like first game playoff type thing. Like, this team, like, they want it so bad. They want it so bad.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I know, especially Isaiah Likely, he can't wait to see Mahomes again. Yeah. I know he cannot wait to go to Arrowhead again and go play those guys. But to get to Arrowhead, we got to get past Buffalo. Buffalo is a great team. We all know this. Ended up finishing 13-4. Josh didn't play in the last game, just started so he'd get his all-time starting streak, whatever. 1,000-yard rusher and James Cook, wide receiver core, no standout guys, but all guys who are very good at doing their job. Shakir, Cooper, Coleman, and Mac Hollins. And then two great tight ends in Knox and Kincaid in the top three offensive line, according to PFF. And one of the most turnover-worthy teams, I don't know if that's the right way to say it, defensively, generated a lot of turnovers over there in Buffalo. This is a good team, is what I'm trying to say. Pop, we've seen this team before. We beat them 35-10 week 4. What are you expecting this time around at Buffalo instead of Baltimore, with two ticked-off teams who both believe their quarterback should be the MVP?
I expect a lot of points, for sure. I don't think it's going to go quite the same way that it went in Baltimore in week 4, where we absolutely dominated them. I think they'll come with a better game plan. But at the end of the day, I think our offense is at the same level or better than theirs. And I think that our defense is better than theirs. And I just think that at the end of the day, our team is going to make points out of a few more drives than the Bills are able to. I don't know if that ends up being a 7-point win. I don't know if that ends up being a 10-point win. But I just don't think that they'll be able to keep up at the same rate that we're going at. And one of the reasons why I think that our defense, I think this is just such a good matchup all the way around. You talked about the dime and nickel defense that they run, which is a lot more corners on the field generally means that you're not going to be able to defend the run quite as well. All right, that's a tick for the offense. And then second of all, I just think that our defense matches up very well against theirs. I was listening to a podcast today. I don't remember if it was PFF or who, but so against QB runs, QB scrambles, and bootleg plays, so plays where the QB is on the move, Buffalo's defense was 11th out of the 12 playoff teams in defending those plays this last week.
Barbecue chicken.
And the Ravens defense was second out of 11 or 12 teams to do this. So I think that, and I think we've seen that all season. I can't remember a guy really beating us other than through the pocket and just beating us through the air. I don't think QBs are really able to create like Josh wants to do so badly within the confines of the Bills' offense.
And I think we even saw that week 4 with Kyle Van Noy being able to pressure him and trying to roll out and getting those 2 sacks. That I think our DNs are great athletes. Not even just our DNs, our defensive linemen. T. Jones and Matabika are 2 very athletic defensive tackles. And they just run well with quarterbacks. So that definitely makes sense, us being 2 out of 12 out of the playoff teams.
Yeah, so I just think that both sides of the ball match up really solidly against both sides of their ball. So I feel really confident going into this game. Really confident.
Yeah, I do as well. But it's like even a Buffalo fan, if you're a Buffalo fan, you would be feeling pretty confident in your eyes. It's like we have the MVP. They got to come to us. They got to come play in Buffalo weather. And I've been seeing that online all week. But I personally think that plays into our hands. I think the only way that this would play into Buffalo's hand was that if they played in the dome and it was warm, and it would allow the Ravens to get away from the run game. When you play in 9-degree weather, you're not trying to tackle no 6'3", 250-pound running back. I tell you that. You're not trying to do that. I don't care. They can lie to the media, lie to the fans, lie to themselves, lie to the coaches. There's not a man in the world who's trying to tackle Derrick Henry on Sunday in 9-degree cold. That's not what it is. And I truly think that cold is going to help us be able to dominate the run game, control the time of possession, and ultimately keep Josh off the field. You limit their offensive opportunities. You keep the ball in your hands, your possession. You score points, and you don't turn over the football game. I think the Ravens can dominate and will dominate this football game. I don't see it being close. Because it's like it wasn't close the first time, and obviously the past is the past. But the Ravens' defense has only gotten better. We were one of the worst defenses, 32nd ranked pass defense in the NFL at that time. We're basically one in every category from weeks 11 to now. So I think that defense is going to be ready to play. I think the cold is going to affect their passing game. They're going to have to lean on the run game. We're still the best run defense in football. I just really think the elements, and I feel the same way going to Kansas City. I'm trying to get ahead of myself, but I think for the remainder of the AFC playoffs, I think the cold is really going to help us out into leaning into Derrick Henry and the Ravens' offensive philosophy of running the ball with either 22 or 8, whoever it is. Stay out there in 22 personnel and 12 personnel. Keep the Titans out there. Keep Ricard out there. Keep Josh Jones out there and punch him in the mouth. Because I promise you the Bills cannot take it. They will not be able to withstand the force of our running game.
Yeah.
Run the ball when the game is that simple. That's how I see it.
And you know they're not going to be able to run the football.
No. So it's like, how do you
Like,
lose? That's how I see it. It's more of a how can you lose this game? Obviously, it's football. It's every
yeah.
given Sunday. All these guys are playing, because it's one and done. But when you really look at the facts, you look at the matchups, you look at both teams' identities, the game plans. This is not the type of game Buffalo wants to play.
As long as these guys hold on to the football and Monken doesn't take Fent before the game, like, I feel good about any game in this playoff.
That's how I feel. As long as, like you said, as long as he stays off the fence, I don't see us losing. It's what you got Derrick Henry for. The offensive formula, game plan, identity you had got you all the way to the AFC Championship game.
Yeah. We controlled the clock for 40 minutes last game.
Like, it just...
40 minutes.
It was ridiculous. Keep...
Mahomes on the field for 20 minutes.
How could you lose?
Josh Allen on the field for 20 minutes.
You're only getting 4 opportunities to go score in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
When you control the clock like that. It's what you got Derrick Henry for. And they showed me that they know that. They understood that against Pittsburgh. And I don't see them getting away from that identity.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it, man. I don't know. You just can't look me in the eyes and tell me Buffalo wants this matchup. If I'm Buffalo, I wanted Kansas City or Houston. I ain't want to play Baltimore. I'm good off of that. We play dime and nickel personnel. We got little linebackers. DeMar Hamlin don't want to tackle Derrick Henry. I think they match up so much better with a Kansas City, who's a more pass-heavy offense. But Baltimore, 9-degree weather. I'm sorry, boss. I don't know how you watched the film from Saturday and think Buffalo can win this game.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Any keys to victory in this game? What do the Ravens got to do right besides not give Monken Fent?
Keep him away from the fence. Keep him away from the crack, heroin.
Yeah.
Run the damn ball. Get to what Lamar likes. Lamar, be smart with the ball. Don't force anything. Take what you can get. Live to see another down. No turnovers. And to me, honestly, I don't want to keep Josh in the pocket. We got to get Josh out of the pocket. I'd rather him be on the perimeter trying to make plays than sitting back there for 100 minutes and doing whatever he wants. So get Josh out the pocket. Allow your athletes to make plays. And I like us, man.
Limit the explosives.
Yeah, limit the explosives. Play Ravens football, man. That's all it is. That's all it comes down to.
No doubt. All right, you got a score prediction for this game?
I'm gonna go 30. I'm gonna go 32. I'm gonna go 31. I'm gonna go like 31-20. 31-20 Baltimore. What you got?
Let me go 27-17.
So we both got about a 10-point game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I keep saying it. I know I'm gonna sound like a biased Ravens fan. I don't see how they can compete with us. I really don't.
Yeah. I just think that defense is going to make enough stops and the offense they're just not going to be able to keep pace.
I don't think so.
And they're not going to have the time to keep pace either.
No, and I can't wait.
If the run game is that good, we can't have the defensive fourth quarter meltdowns that we've come to know and love as Ravens fans.
Yeah.
Like you can't have the getting gashed and when there's only 20 minutes to play football, like that means they got to go clip for clip with us every single drive.
And I don't got them doing that.
Yeah.
So
me neither.
Money on Baltimore. Spread.
Yep.
Money line.
Spread at 1 point.
Yeah, throw the house on it. Throw the rent, cars, the kids, tuition money. Whatever you got, because Baltimore is coming back home as divisional champs. We will be going to Arrowhead next week for the Arrowhead Invitational, the AFC Championship game, baby.
Yes, sir.
I can't wait.
All right. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Pop and T. It's a great episode. See y'all next week after the dub. Go Ravens.